friends, Malia here. This is going to be a different kind of video. We're going to take a little detour from clean beauty, wellness, and we're diving into something more along the lines of mom life. So I am a registered gun owner here in the state of Hawaii, and there have been a number of women who said it's on their bucket list or they'd be interested to learn. So I'm going to be sharing with you the process of how I got my gun, some basic gun safety rules. This is really for the amateur. If you are already familiar with gun safety and have your own gun, you probably don't need to watch this. But for those of you who have thought about it and the idea of it intimidates you, I think watching this might help kind of ease your mind a little bit. So I'm going to show you guys. This is my gun case that I purchased off of Amazon. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I can probably link all the items below. So my gun isn't loaded, the magazine isn't in there. First of all, the gun that I chose to get is a Smith & Wesson MP380 Shield EZ. That is a full name of it. It uses 380 ammunition. I chose this gun because it is smaller, it's lighter, much easier to handle than anything else I've tried. Most other firearms are larger, heavier, more powerful, take bigger ammunition, and with all of that, it is a little bit more intimidating for an amateur like myself, and I'm a female with pretty small hands, so this is really easy to handle, and this is kind of a safety here. I won't go into all the features. There are other videos you can watch for that, but basic gun safety, you are always going to treat a gun as if it's loaded. I'm not going to point this at myself or look into it for, into the barrel for any reason. Always treat a gun like it is loaded. This is not a toy. Second of all, never point it where you don't intend to shoot. Always know the foreground and background. Be sure of your target and what's behind it. So for example, if I think that there's someone breaking into my house, I have to think, if I shoot at him and it misses, what's going to hit behind it? My neighbor's house, right? You have to think about those things. Also, never put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to shoot. So you don't just walk around with your finger on the trigger. So those are some of the basic rules that they go over in the very first class. So with that, I want to go through the steps that I went through. Most of it I did on my own. I used to be really scared of guns. I thought they were bad and people who had them were bad. I just thought they were evil altogether. But just several things have changed my mind. And I realized that actually getting more familiar with it would help to take some of that fear away. And I'm a single mom. I'm not gonna fight off an intruder. I feel pretty obligated to have a means to protect my home, myself, and my children. And pepper spray wasn't doing it for me for a while, just in my mind. I can go into detail of why I might feel the need to protect my home, but it's all right. As Americans, it's all right to be able to do that. So my very first thing was I actually went with my brother. My brother is a gun owner as well. He owns several firearms. So he took me to a range here on Oahu called X-Ring Security. And so that was my very first experience handling a weapon, a firearm. And it was really scary. My heart was racing. It was really scary, and after a while I just really didn't find it fun because I was so intimidated. It's very loud in a gun range. It's just kind of overwhelming to your senses if you've never been, especially if there's other people there shooting and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. If you have sensitive hearing and you're a little jumpy, keep that in mind. But again, this was a goal of mine, a bucket list item, you could say. So the next thing I did was X-Ring Security offers a women's firearm familiarization class. And so I signed up for it. I think it was maybe like $10 or something. It was really not expensive at all. And I went, and I was the only person there that evening. So it was actually pretty cool because it turned out to be almost like a one-on-one tutoring session, and I think it was maybe an hour or so, and we went over just the basics. Like I said, the gun safety. She let me handle her firearm, and we went in and we practiced, and that was the first time I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. It's maybe not so bad. So after that, I eventually signed up for their gun safety class, which is like a 6-hour class. It's about $300, but once you take that full class, there's a test at the end, and when you pass the test, you get an affidavit, and that is what you need to get a permit here in Hawaii. I'm not sure how things work in other states, but this is our process here. So I took the class, I got my affidavit, and then I waited some months, and I ended up Black Friday morning, I was like, I'm gonna go to X-Ring and see what deals they have. And that's when I ended up purchasing my gun. I got a really great deal on Black Friday, and so purchased it. Then you have to go and get your permit, and so you need your affidavit. They're going to do a background check on you. They're going to take your fingerprints. They're going to make sure like you're not a felon and you don't have like crazy mental illnesses. I don't know what all they check on, but they check on you, and then a week later you go back to see if you get your permit. So I got my permit. I then you have to take your permit back to where you purchased your gun, because once you pay for it, you don't get to have it yet. They keep it there. Took my permit back to X-Ring where I bought my gun, and then they do some paperwork and they give you that and like a receipt of purchase. So you take that back to HPD, because you have to then register your weapon. So you give them the paperwork, and you got to fill out some other stuff, and then when you get the okay, you are registered. So that was my basic kind of steps and process. Took me a number of months because I just wasn't in a rush to do it, but got that done. So now I try to go once a month to practice, to just keep myself in practice, in comfortability of handling it, so that I get better at my shot. The people there, the staff there, are so friendly, so helpful. I learn something every single time I go. I don't feel afraid to ask questions. They do not make me feel like I'm dumb there, because I don't know much about guns. They're so helpful, really, really friendly. Big shout out to X-Ring Security in Waipahu. So some of the things that I purchased, in the process of becoming a gun owner was ear protection. You need that when you go to the range. So I got these from Amazon as well. Guns are loud, so you gotta have your ear protection. I had purchased these when I was at the gun range, so I have my eyes and ears. And then, like I showed you guys earlier, this is my case. So I keep my eye protection here. I have two just in case I have a buddy who comes with me. And then on the inside is where I keep the gun and then the magazine here when I'm traveling with it to the range. And then I bought a safe. Okay, I don't just have my gun like in my nightstand at home. I keep it in a safe that can be accessed with a like digital numbers, or with like it has some biotechnology with your fingerprint and stuff like that. So my kids don't even know that exists at this point. So I'm definitely very responsible. I don't open the safe or handle it when my children are at home at all, but I do have home protection ammunition. I know how to access my stuff should I need it, which God forbid I ever will, but it gives me a lot of peace of mind knowing, that if there was ever some trouble, I wouldn't just be left there like just hiding, vulnerable. It just makes me feel a lot more empowered. So what else? I got my eye protection, ear protection. Okay, so you can't just like, if I want to go to the range one day, I can't just also go shopping at Niu or go stop for coffee. The laws in Hawaii state, you can only go from point A to point B. So it's taking it to the range and back home. That is it. Obviously, you travel with it unloaded, with the magazine out, and just be responsible keep it safe. For the longest time, I was way too nervous to have this in my home where my children live, but because I know how to do it safely, I feel okay with everything. So I hope that was helpful. I hope I covered everything. If you have any questions, comment or DM me, or you can email me at malia@happily-home-mom.com. But this is definitely recommend for, I mean, I'm 5'3". My hands are really pretty small, and I'm really comfortable using this. It's really easy to use, and I mean, I used a different gun today, but it gets the job done. I think it gets the job done. And then if you become like more of a connoisseur, you can always get more big boy guns and stuff like that. So anyways, thanks so much for tuning in.